Okay, folks, so work with me here. Woody Harrelson was on Saturday Night Live last night blasting COVID-19 vaccine use and promotion. Dinesh D'Souza, the couch potato conservative, texts here, watch Woody Harrelson goes off on COVID-19 vaccine, Big Pharma, during Saturday Night Live monologue. Media explodes in response. So, okay, he does that, right? He does that, okay? But then, the very next day, all right, the very next day, we have the COVID-19 lab leak, okay? The U.S. Energy Department concluded that COVID-19 likely came from a lab leak. China says it's highly unlikely. Here's where the world's at right now, where the world's at right now on what sparked the pandemic. Okay? The Wall Street Journal repeats it. The point I'm making is, why would he do that? Edward Snowden texts, do you remember the quote institutional unquote in social media quote unquote response in the first half of 2020 when someone contradicted the consensus? They were punished for the crime of disinformation. Corporations must never again be permitted to police speech. But here we have Woody Harrelson policing our speech regarding the vaccine. Okay? So think about it. What would Woody Harrelson's end game be by doing that? Let's say you were successful in that and people actually heard him and listened to him, okay, even though he had a huge platform at SNL. It would mean that the lab leak that happened would spread because we weren't taking our vaccines, because we were told that we didn't need them. So we don't need them, but then we have all of these sick people around. Which could lead to what? Well, eventually deaths. Why is Woody Harrelson interested in killing people? I'm just asking. Because it's interesting, the timing of his statement came out just before the report of this lab leak, all right? Basically telling us what I have said for years, that the Wuhan lab is only 26 minutes by drive from the wet market in Wuhan, where COVID-19 was said to have first spawned and grew in terms of where it was going and infecting people. All right? Okay? So you would think, logically, that someone who knew the vaccine was out there and who knew the virus was out there and that there was a leak would say, you need some protection, so yeah, you better take this medicine. It's a good idea, so you don't get sick, just like if you get the flu, right? If you get the flu, you take flu medicine. You get the coronavirus, you take coronavirus medicine. That's logical. Why discourage that? And why discourage that the day before the announcement of a lab leak? I really believe he did that knowing that the information was going to come out as his own disinformation campaign, as his own campaign to put the idea out there that, oh, we don't need the vaccine, ahead of the lab leak. Because if the lab leak information had come out on its own, what would the response be? we really need the vaccine. Think about it, okay? That's some really bad stuff he did. 757 million people, or excuse me, there have been 757 million cases of coronavirus since this whole thing started. There have been almost 7 million deaths worldwide that we know of. Arguably double, probably 14 million, if you consider the ones we don't know about. That's a lot of people, okay? That's people who could fill jobs. That's people who are looking to get married, people who are waiting to have kids, people who had kids, people who are friends, neighbors, relatives, workers, leaders, janitors, cooks. It's a lot of people. Actors, actresses. It's a lot of people. It is wrong to advance something or practice that can harm us. And not getting vaccinated hurts two people, you and me. Get vaccinated. But for Willie Harrelson to put out this idea that we don't need to get vaccinated the day before the lab leak is announced, that's really questionable. I don't like that. Because again, if the lab leak news were announced on its own, what would the natural reaction be? Hey, this is something like germ warfare, so therefore we're going to need medicine to fight it. We're going to need to take our vaccines, right? But here comes Woody all of a sudden to tell us, oh, take the vaccines. Are you trying to kill us? It's a question to be asked. Are you trying to kill us? Subscribe to Zinnia62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com.